You know, some things in life are just simply sublime. On this edition of Test Drive, we take a look at the BMW M4. The BMW M4 takes the basics from the M3 sedan and puts them into a loud and proud coupe that's tenacious in all it does. As is true of all M products, it's the engine that's the defining quality. In this case, the 3-litre inline-6 produces 425 horsepower and, more importantly, 406 pound-feet of torque. The unspoken advantage is that the two turbochargers, complete with intercoolers, deliver an engine that's always on cam. There's absolutely no lag at the bottom end, and the stallions gallop all the way to 7,300 RPM. Now that's what you call a power plateau. So how fast is the M4? Well, it's bloody quick. It'll run from rest to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.3 seconds, and it does the 80 to 120 passing move in 3.3 seconds. Now, both of those times are world class by any standard. The M4 arrives with a 6-speed manual gearbox. It has a slick gate and short throws. It also rev matches when downshifting, which delivers heel and toe precision. The better route, however, is the 7-speed twin-clutch transmission. It acts like an automatic, however, using the paddle shifters puts things into manual. The driver can also tailor the shifts in 3 stages. The first is for purring about town, the second for a faster drive. The third setting is ideally suited to a track day. The other advantage to the twin-clutch is it shaves 0.2 seconds off both acceleration times. One of the neat features in this M4 has to do with these 2 M buttons. You can set them up for whichever way you want. Now, what I've done, normal or no M button, is the way I drive around town. If you hit M1, I've tweaked the throttle, the steering and the stability control system to make the car a lot more fun to drive. Then there's M2. You set everything to Sport Plus and you just let it rip. All of this would not be worth a hill of beans were it not for the M4's ability to dance its way through sweeping corners. The base M suspension is taut but far from harsh. This means a degree of comfort minus the body roll. For those wanting more, take the adaptive M suspension. In comfort, the ride is softer than the base suspension and ideal for everyday use. Then there are the sport settings. It hunkers things down to deliver awesome handling. In other words, it brings the best of all worlds in a single package. The cockpit of this M4 is all about the driver. The seats are superb, the driving position is just about perfect, and the information, well, it's readily available through the heads-up display. Yes, iDrive is a pain in the backside, and the rear seat, well, it's not much good for anything other than a briefcase, but none of that matters because this car is all about sitting in this seat and having serious fun. As for the rest of it, the steering is direct and beautifully balanced. Throw in the 255/35R19 front and 275/35R19 rear tyres, along with BMW's variable M differential, and it's all but impossible to put a wheel wrong, even as the M4 is pushed to its extraordinary limits. Finally, the 2-piece front rotors and enormous M calipers bring prodigious stopping power. Even after repeated applications, the setup remained fade-free and as crisp as the first time they were hammered. The M4 really is a street-legal missile that has the uncanny knack of getting through a corner at the limit without frightening the living daylights out of the driver. It really is a very sweet ride. But what if you got family commitments? Fear not, think M3 sedan.